Hey guys, welcome back. So last time we went over some really general stuff about workplace etiquette, like how to make small talk, making first impressions with your handshake, and all that. Today, what I wanted to do is get into a little bit more of the specific nuts and bolts of some of the more challenging conversations and interactions you'll have at work, and how to display professional etiquette or behavior in those situations. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is how to ask for a raise. Now, most people say you want to wait at least 6 months after you've been hired before you ask for a pay raise because anytime sooner than that, and you haven't really had time to prove to your boss that you're a valuable asset to the company. So it helps if they see at least 6 months of performance before you go in and ask for a pay raise. Now, what this does is it gives you leverage when you go to ask for a raise because you're going to need to convince them why they should pay you more. I mean, if you're an average employee, like you're serviceable, you get the job done, but you don't exactly bring anything extra to the table. I mean, why should they pay you more than they're paying you now? So, how much should you ask for? Well, according to Business Insider and some other sources, a reasonable request is probably 10 to 20% bump in pay. So if you're making 50,000 a year, you could ask for 55,000 or 60,000 for the following year without getting laughed out of the office.
I declare bankruptcy!
Sometimes your employer just doesn't have it in their budget to afford to give you a raise. So if they tell you that, the next thing I would ask is if the company does annual or biannual performance reviews, because that's often an appropriate time to discuss an increase in compensation. Now, if they annually review your performance, meaning once a year, and you've been working there 6 months, then you'd only have to wait another 6 months to discuss a pay raise. And personally, I wouldn't have a problem with that, but it really just depends on you. If the company won't give you a pay raise, you have other options you can discuss. So if you get other perks or benefits like PTO, more paid time off, more in retirement savings, a better health care plan, whatever benefits are available to you, you can bring those up and discuss those and say, could I get an increase in any of these things if they don't want to give you the pay raise? So, what to do if the company offers you nothing? They don't offer you an increase in pay, they don't offer you more benefits or perks. If you feel that your job performance is worth what you're asking for, like you really honestly believe that, and they will not increase your compensation either in terms of money or other benefits, at that time you want to start looking for a new job. That actually reminds me of something I should have included on this slide, but I didn't. Don't quit your current job until you have a new job. Okay. Um, you don't want to find yourself in a position where you're without any source of income if you're out on your own. Just don't make any rash decisions if you're not happy with how with how things went. Um, and another thing, if it's your first job, second job even, you, keep your head down and do some work before you start asking for things. If it's an entry level position, you need to be more focused on getting better at the work and getting some experience under your belt more than, how much money you're making. It's just not reasonable to think that you're going to make a lot of money at that level at an entry level job. Okay. Another thing, you need to know your worth. Now, by that, I mean, don't think just because you've been working somewhere a year or two that you're entitled to make more money. You need to be able to quantify what you bring to the table. What are some real tangible ways that you can show the company that they benefit from having you as an employee? Are your sales always high? Are your customers happy? Are you efficient in your work? Have you saved the company resources? Have you made them money? Have you made life less stressful for your boss? It's all about proving that you're a valuable asset to the company. And if you can prove that and you really are, then they don't want to lose you. I want to take a look at a scene from a movie called Nightcrawler, and it's about a guy who goes out and he records crime scenes or scenes of accidents, like when cars wreck, and he takes that footage and he sells it to news stations, and that's what he's trying to do here, and he's trying to negotiate the best deal he can get.
What?
Home invasion, triple murder in Granada Hills.
That's just breaking now.
We got there before the police.
You have it?
I'm not going to list the many benefits of this piece. I think it's probably best to just watch it for yourself.
I could have had someone out there by now. Why didn't you call it in?
To increase your need and improve my bargaining position.
Frank, Jenny, Bay 2 now. How much?
100,000.
How much?
50,000.
I need a number. 9 minutes, I need a number.
I just gave you 2.
3,000.
I got 3,000 for the food truck stabbings.
There were more, Dad.
Those were poor Mexican people in a roach coach. 2 of them were illegals. These are 3 wealthy white people shot and killed in their mansion, including a suburban housewife shotgunned in her bed. I know you, Nina. I know your interest and excitement in this product is greater than the amount you're offering.
5,000.
30,000.
7,000.
25,000.
8,000.
15,000.
9,000.
15,000.
10,000.
15,000.
Give me a serious number.
15,000.
Can't do it. Never happened. There's a matter of precedent. 10's my last best offer.
Okay.
Really? Where are you going?
Sevens approached me at least several times. The ND there gave me his number. They'll make me a better offer. It's a 5-minute drive.
Hold on. $12.
15.
I can't spend a month's budget on a single story.
What if the story's not over? The people who did this escaped. They're still out there, walking around with the rest of us. If I had a family and I lived in a home, that might make me nervous. I'd want updates on what was going on. With this footage, people would turn to your channel for the story. Now, I like you, Nina, and I look forward to our time together, but you have to understand, 15,000 isn't all that I want. From here on, starting now, I want my work to be credited by the anchors and on a burn. The name of my company is Video Production News, a professional news gathering service. That's how it should be read and that's how it should be said. I also want to go to the next rung and meet your team, and the station manager and the director and the anchors, and start developing my own personal relationships. I'd like to start meeting them this morning. You'll take me around, you'll introduce me as the owner and president of Video Production News, and remind them of some of my many other stories. I'm not done. I also want to stop our discussion over prices. This will save time. So when I say that a particular number is my lowest price, that's my lowest price. And you can be assured that I arrived at whatever that number is very carefully.
Let's get into the next part of this lesson and the last part, which is how to constructively confront a coworker or superior. Of course, we all know confronting people can be a scary thing. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to upset someone or worse, permanently damage a relationship, especially if it's a coworker that you care about. But if someone has said or done something and it keeps bothering you, there's obviously a problem there, and it's not healthy for you to avoid it. Dr. Ryan Howells, a clinic psychologist, said in the magazine Psychology Today that it is our own fears that keep us from confronting people with an issue that we have with them. How to confront the problem in a constructive way. First of all, you need to be self-aware, which means that you're able to identify your emotions and how they work. So it means you know what makes you happy, what makes you angry, what makes you sad, anxious, whatever the case may be. First, you identify what the person said or did to trigger the emotion. Number 2, identify the emotion that was triggered. And 3, figure out why it made you feel that way. If it's something that continues to bother you, it's likely you weren't just in a bad mood at the time or you were hungry or something like that. Now, imagine what might be said in the conversation that will trigger a strong emotion from you when you go to confront this person about it. For instance, do you get angry at being talked over? Are you anxious because you're afraid of how the conversation might go? You recognize these emotions. and you don't act on them. Instead of reacting, you just, like a curious observer, you feel the emotion and you think, that's interesting. Instead of flying off the handle, it's something they encourage during meditation. When you feel something, you feel an emotion, you're just kind of like a scientist where you sit back and you say, that's interesting. I wonder what caused that. Okay. Well, this part is very important because this could make or break the conversation. Focus on using I statements. I felt attacked because you said blah, blah, blah in the meeting yesterday. I felt hurt that you would say that about me to a coworker behind my back, because this makes the other person not feel attacked, and it makes them feel like you're not making accusations against them. In other words, you don't want to go in angry and start off with something like, how dare you say that about me to another person when I'm not around? Okay? You might really want to do that, and you may think it will make you feel good, and maybe it will, I don't know. But in the end, it's not going to solve anything, and it's going to poison your relationship with that person. And ultimately, that is going to make for a less pleasant and ideal workplace, because now there's tension there. And remember, at a workplace, you practice etiquette because you want the least amount of junk to deal with.